4 old men walked onto a stage in Pittsburgh, and 3,000 people lost their minds. Not because they were celebrities on a comeback tour, but because for the first time in 50 years, Ron Howard, Henry Winkler, Don Most, and Anson Williams stood together in public, and the crowd erupted like it was 1978 all over again. Happy Days ran from 1974 to 1984, 255 episodes, a cast that felt like family to an entire generation of Americans. But behind those wholesome Tuesday nights, the real lives of the people who made that show were anything but simple. Some of them became legends, some disappeared, some rebuilt themselves from nothing, and some never got the ending they deserved. Today, we go through the cast, where they started, what happened, and exactly where they are right now in 2026. And I promise you, by the time we get to number 5, you won't be ready for what you're about to hear. 1. Ron Howard, Richie Cunningham. He was 20 years old, a kid with a red cardigan and a smile that could light up Milwaukee. Ron Howard stepped onto the Happy Days set in 1974, not knowing he was about to spend the next 6 years as America's favorite teenager. Then, in 1980, he walked away, mid-run, to bet everything on becoming a filmmaker. Everyone thought he was crazy. He won an Oscar for A Beautiful Mind, directed Apollo 13, The Da Vinci Code, Solo, a Star Wars story. In early 2026, he's been working internationally, spotted in Budapest on new projects while his castmates were reuniting stateside. He's also been married to his high school sweetheart Cheryl since 1975, over 50 years, in Hollywood. That alone might be his greatest achievement. But if Ron Howard had a charmed path, the man who completely overshadowed him had to fight for every inch of his second act. 2. Henry Winkler, Arthur the Fonzarelli. He was supposed to be a minor character, a greaser kid for a few episodes. Instead, Henry Winkler became the most famous man on American television. By season 2, the Fonz wasn't supporting anyone. He was the show. But when Happy Days ended in 1984, that leather jacket became a cage. The typecasting was real and suffocating. For years, the industry only saw Fonzie when they looked at him. He kept showing up anyway. He wrote children's books about dyslexia because Henry himself has dyslexia, hidden for decades. He directed, he produced, he waited. Then came Barry, HBO, 2018. Henry Winkler won his first Emmy at 72 years old. The audience gave him a standing ovation before he even reached the microphone. In 2026, he refuses to retire. On a podcast with Michelle Obama, he said retirement feels deadly to him. He's hosting Hazardous History on the History Channel, starring opposite Bob Odenkirk in the thriller Normal, and was named commencement speaker at his alma mater, Emerson College. He went ziplining at 80. He posted the video himself. Winkler's comeback is extraordinary. But the woman who held the Cunningham household together for all 255 episodes has a story that humbles everyone else. 3. Marion Ross, Marion Cunningham. She was 46, already divorced, raising 2 kids on her own, and Happy Days was supposed to be just another job. It became the role of a lifetime. Mrs. C, warm, wise, endlessly patient, became the TV mom an entire generation wished they had. Marion Ross is 97 years old in 2026. She turned 97 in October 2025. By all accounts, still sharp, still gracious, still entirely herself. Brooklyn Bridge earned her 2 Emmy nominations in the 90s. She voiced Grandma Squarepants. She outlasted almost everyone. 97 years old. Some legacies don't fade, they deepen. from the woman who never missed an episode to the man who was supposed to be America's dad and carried that role with everything he had. 4. Tom Bosley, Howard Cunningham. Before Happy Days, Tom Bosley was a Tony Award-winning Broadway star. He played Howard Cunningham through all 255 episodes and brought something to the role that couldn't be scripted: genuine warmth. After the show ended, he became Sheriff Amos Tupper on Murder, She Wrote, and worked steadily until his health declined. Tom passed away in October 2010 at age 83 after battling cancer, grateful and positive until the end. The standard he set for TV fathers has never really been matched. Tom Bosley left us with grace, but one of his on-screen children left behind a story that breaks your heart every single time you hear it. 5. Erin Moran, Joni Cunningham. She was 13 years old when the cameras first turned on. 13. She grew up entirely in front of America. From Pigtails to her own spin-off, Joni Loves Chachi. She appeared in 239 episodes. She was part of the furniture, part of the family. And then the show ended, and Hollywood moved on without her. What followed was a slow, painful unraveling. Roles dried up, financial hardship, personal struggles the tabloids loved and she consistently pushed back against. In her final years, she and her husband were reportedly living in motels, far from the life she had known. In 2017, Erin Moran passed away at just 56 years old from throat cancer. 56. The little sister that an entire country grew up alongside. Her story is the one that doesn't leave you. Behind every laugh track, there are real people. And Hollywood is far better at making stars than it is at taking care of them. From Joni to the boy she fell for on screen, because his life after Happy Days took turns no fan saw coming. 6. Scott Baio, Chachi Arcola. He was 17, a teenager playing a teenager, and almost overnight, one of the biggest heartthrobs in America. Scott Baio joined in 1977, appeared in 131 episodes, got his own spin-off, and had his face on the bedroom walls of teenagers across the country. After Charles in Charge wrapped in 1990, the spotlight faded, and his name resurfaced over the years for controversies more than projects, accusations from former co-stars, divisive political positions. By his own admission, he's largely stepped away from the industry, saying he hasn't needed to work for a decade. But in May 2025, he shared something that surprised everyone. His daughter Bailey, born with a rare metabolic disorder, committed to Providence College on a Division I golf scholarship. Whatever else has been written about Scott Baio, that moment was just a father, completely undone with pride. Now, from the heartthrob who went quiet to the class clown who went somewhere nobody expected. 7. Don Most and Anson Williams, Ralph Malph and Patsy Weber. Ralph Malph had the worst jokes on television. Terrible punchlines. Don Most delivered them for 168 episodes, and then quietly became a jazz singer and director, channeling talent the sitcom never gave him space to show. He's been married to actress Morgan Hart since 1982. Anson Williams, Patsy, the sweet sidekick, appeared in 222 episodes and then became one of TV's most prolific directors. Melrose Place, Beverly Hills, 90210, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Star Trek, Deep Space. 9. Over 400 hours of television. 400 hours. Patsy wasn't the sidekick. He was, quietly, one of the most successful people in the entire cast. In January 2026, Williams posted a photo alongside Winkler and Most. We're doing everything we can to bring back those happy days in 2026. We believe in the power of joy. The response from fans was overwhelming. Joy. That's what Happy Days was always selling. But two of the people who delivered it most are no longer here, and their absence still stings. 8. Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams, Laverne and Shirley, 6 guest episodes. That's all Penny Marshall needed to create such instant chemistry with Cindy Williams that ABC handed them their own show. Laverne and Shirley became one of the most watched sitcoms in American history. And then Penny went further, directing Big in 1988, becoming the first female director to gross over $100 million at the box office. A League of Their Own followed. Awakenings followed. Penny passed away in December 2018 at 75. Bold, funny, fearless, and still deeply missed. Cindy Williams, the lightning to Penny's thunder, left the show before the final season over a pregnancy leave dispute that ended in a lawsuit. She raised her 2 children largely alone after her divorce, took smaller roles, stayed out of the spotlight. She passed away in January 2023 at age 75. The world was smaller the day she left it. From 2 women gone too soon, to a man who proved it's never too late, and a guest who changed everything in just 2 episodes. 9. Pat Morita, Arnold Takahashi. Pat Morita joined Happy Days at 43, having already survived spinal tuberculosis as a child and a Japanese-American internment camp as a teenager. He didn't start acting until his 40s. In 1984, he played Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid. Oscar nomination, worldwide fame, one of the most beloved characters in American cinema. All of it, after everything he'd already been through. An Oscar nomination at 52, after internment, after illness, after decades of starting over. Pat Morita's story isn't about Happy Days. It's about what's possible when you refuse to quit. He passed away in November 2005 at 73. Sober, grateful, a man who earned every single moment he had. And then, the guest who showed up for 2 episodes, launched a career unlike anything the world had seen, and left behind a loss that nobody was prepared for. 10. Robin Williams, Mork from Ork. 2 episodes, 1978. He played an alien named Mork, and he was so explosively, incomprehensibly alive on screen that ABC greenlit a spin-off almost immediately. Mrs. Doubtfire, Aladdin, Good Will Hunting, Dead Poets Society. He could make you cry and make you laugh in the same breath. He improvised entire scenes that directors left in because nothing written could touch what he came up with in the moment. On August 11th, 2014, Robin Williams died at his home in California. He was 63. He had been suffering from severe depression and, as revealed afterward, Lewy body dementia, a devastating neurological condition that had gone misdiagnosed, quietly destroying him from the inside. The world stopped. The conversation about mental health that followed, about what hides behind laughter, about what we miss when we only see the performance, that conversation is still happening today. 2 guest appearances on a sitcom in 1978. That's all it took to launch a legend who changed everything he ever touched. Gone. But the laughter he left behind, that doesn't go anywhere.